AI has certainly arrived into revenue cycle management, and now AI voice. That's right, voice is making inroads. Can you use it? Should you use it? My guest today is an expert in revenue cycle management and uses AI in his RCM company every day, and he's going to tell us what he thinks. I'm Carl White, principal at Mark Advisory Group, which is a healthcare marketing agency, and I'm also the host of PracticeCare. The mission for both is the same, and that's to help private practice owners stay private. That's usually what they want, but we just think that care is better when it's the providers of care that own the practice, because then every decision that's got to be made, clinical, business, whatever it is made by those who have to turn around and take care of patients, so we can feel really confident that patient care is always top of mind. My guest today, my returning guest, is Vinny Sankaran. Vinny brings over 15 years of experience in operations, financial analysis, strategy, growth, corporate development, strategic planning, and marketing. At medical billing wholesalers, he's involved in applying his experience to optimize revenue cycle process flows to improve their clients' profitability and performance. They've been doing it for a long time. Vinny, thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Always a pleasure. How are you
Always a
doing today?
pleasure. I'm doing well. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
In the what is probably the tail end of the second summer here in North America.
Cool.
Yes. All right. So we're going to get into AI voice. Can always count on you for what's leading edge new in the world of AI, at least for now, until we turn our attention to something else. But first, help listeners get to know you a bit better. Those who haven't listened to another episode with you or don't know you, that was a pretty short bio. That's what I asked for. So tell us more.
Sure. So my name is Vinny. Real name is Vinod Sankaran. I've been running MBW, as we call it, the BMW of medical billing, as I tell everybody, for
Right.
about 15 plus years.
Yeah.
I sit on two boards. One is HPMA, that is most all billing companies, RCM companies such as us. And the other one is NSCHBC, a lot of business consultant, healthcare business consultants. And so I see kind of two different versions, what the practices needs. Sometimes it's hospitals and stuff, but I also see what health tech companies come in, vendors that come in with new products like AI. It was RPA a few years back. Now it's AI RPA. So that's kind of what I see from both sides. We use it, but we also recommend it to our practices. And usually I end up learning a lot because we sit with the vendors, get some pilot, then we see if their sales pitch is really true or they're just, overselling it. And that happens a lot too. So it's a good way to find out what's coming in the industry.
It's nice you've developed the patience to test these things and figure out what's sort of truth from promotion, I guess, because it can be exhausting. They said this, but let's look at it ourselves and see what's, it could be exhausting. Necessary, but exhausting.
Right. Time consuming too.
Yeah.
Time and money, correct. And we have a whole team. There are actually two people in our company. All they do is this.
Is that right? Wow. That's great, actually. I mean, that seems like it'd be a rare find. To say, give me something else that's, we'll figure it out. And RPA, I'm just trying to remember, robotic process automation.
That is correct.
Yeah. So automating things in just sort of
Correct.
very advanced ways. Yeah.
Yes. So since you brought it up, RPA is more just automation, no thinking, no intelligence to it.
Yeah.
The artificial intelligence is also automation, but it can get better over time. It learns.
Right.
That's kind of the difference, very basic difference. So that's what I'm saying. So,
yeah. So before we get into voice, let's just kind of recap some broad, high-level uses of AI in revenue cycle management from the patient side, from the payer side. Just, set the table kind of question.
Absolutely. Let's leave voice for a second.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about AI. When I say AI, some of it is automation and AI combined, right? So when I say AI, it doesn't mean everything is AI. It can be PA automation, AI thing of combined. So for example, autonomous coding, as they call it. So it's coding that uses a lot of AI to do the coding. And not everything can be done by AI. And whatever is an exception falls to the coders to review and resubmit. And as you keep doing that, the AI machine gets better and better. So let's say we start, as an example, we were working with a company that does emergency department coding. So, emergency department has a lot of variables because you don't know who's coming in for what, right? And it could be a standalone emergency room or a hospital, but you have a lot of variables, right? So when we started with this 4 or 5 years ago, right after COVID, the system was doing maybe 40, 50% without being touched by human. But as we started giving it more inputs, it came up to 65 to 70%. See, that's how you see it. It took a few months,
Sure.
but that's how it learns. That's the difference with AI. But if it was only automation, it would have stayed the same and it would have been the same. All right. So
Yeah.
that is autonomous coding. And that's one. In terms of other AI without voice, we can use AI for patient data to see, analyze and see who will pay on time and when they will pay. There's a lot of financial analysis and pattern recognition using AI that's coming
Mm-hmm.
up. That's on the
Mm-hmm.
patient side.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also automate a lot of different processes in the revenue cycle, be it front end, like, scheduling, calling the patient back for reminder, all that can be automated, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI
Mm-hmm.
or not AI, but all automation. That's
Yes.
one side. The other side is payment posting, charge entry, demographics. With EMRs, some are automated, but there's a lot of EMRs that are adding AI. So many of the easier parts of revenue cycle are automated. Some
Yeah.
denial management, some AR follow-up, some appeals. Everything has different companies that tackle that niche, and they have different automation. Some using
Yeah.
AI, some using automation.
And sort of lower level, I guess, but it has to get done.
Right.
You're denied, you've got to go appeal it. You can take a highly skilled
Yes.
person, or you can try to use this pathway. You can't, I mean, you have to do it, you know?
Right, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. Going back, right? So we've been doing it for a little over 15 years. Right? Everything has been getting automated anyway. So for
Yeah.
example, many years ago, if you talk to people, they'll talk about fax machine, paper charts, things like that,
Mhm.
mailing stuff, all that. Then EMRs change a lot of data entry. So that's also automation, right? Maybe
Yeah.
not AI, but it's automation. So this whole industry has been evolving a lot of manual work.
Mhm.
You had lower level people doing that. Now you have people, more doing analytics and higher level things to,
Yeah.
appeal with the insurance company and get paid. That's pretty much, we look at the
Yeah.
dark side as the insurance companies.
Yes.
I'm sure all the providers also agree.
Mhm.
That's usually a constant fight. They deny, they delay, and our goal is to fight and get the doctors as much and as soon as possible. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much the game.
Yeah. So as we record this, is sort of a side question. As we record this, the down coding thing has made the news recently, where insurance companies will take a level 5 visit, just automatically down code it to a 3 or a 4 without any documentation, without asking any questions. I'm curious, can AI be set up to catch that and just sort of flag that or that?
Yes.
I didn't think I was going to ask that question, but I thought,
No,
maybe.
yes. Let's start with that, both sides.
Yeah.
The insurance companies are using AI, and that's why this is happening to begin with,
Okay.
right? Because they have automated, don't forget, they're way bigger than us.
True.
Right? They have a lot more money,
Yeah.
and they have implemented all the technology for automation AI way before we are even looking at it, right?
True.
So a lot
True.
of things that you see in the news is because they're aggressively pushing from that side to be more efficient and increase
Okay.
their margins. So they have automated. So the system automatically denies the claims and down codes. Like you said, hey, you're submitting this claim for a level 4, but we are not going to say agree for 4. We are going to agree only for 3 and pay for 3. And
Mhm.
that's what they're doing.
Right.
Now we have to look at that and see the discrepancies and go back to them and say, can we use AI for that? Yes,
Mhm.
but it's still evolving.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I would not
Okay.
say there's a product right now that, hey, it works 100%, but there are products right
Fair
there. So,
enough.
I think the
Okay.
same vendors sell to the insurance company and then they turn around and sell to us.
Yes.
Could be. I,
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe in
Yes.
different names, maybe with
Yes.
different
Every
names.
time I hear that, I just think of why I remember this, but I go back to my high school, it's driver's ed class. And a police officer comes in and somebody asks, or the officer brings up about, the tech where it can tell you if a cop is coming up. This is long before Google Maps would tell you, hey, 10 people saw a cop in a mile and a half. This is just like a radar. And the police officer said, without missing a beat, get them all you want. The same people who sell that to you sell it to us, and they keep us one step ahead always. And that was the end of it. I went, I guess that
I
makes
never thought
sense.
of that.
Yeah,
I
I
never
know.
thought of
Who
that,
would think of
but you're
that?
right.
Yeah,
I did
that
not
makes
think of
perfect
that.
sense. Yes. So, okay. All right. AI voice. Just
Mm,
start with a simple definition and then kind of like high level pros and cons from your point of view.
perfect. Before we come to AI voice, I'll tell you what we use voice in ARCM, both on the
Okay.
front end and stuff. So,
Yeah.
people call patients, and that could be either it could be the front office and the providers of it, or a RCM company like us. We're
Okay.
calling the patient to confirm your appointment, book the appointment. That's more the scheduling part. But you're also calling insurance companies to do verification of benefits. Just make sure that insurance is correct, what the deductibles are. And sometimes it's a prior authorization for a procedure that they need prior
Mhm.
auth. If not, the insurance company is going to deny, right? So most of these are, I won't say all of it is called. Sometimes you can do it on portals, but many times you end up calling the insurance company, right?
Okay.
The other part is same thing on the back end is a claim gets denied. We try to reprocess it online. We use portals, we use IVRs, but many times, 20%, 10%, 5%, whatever the specialties, you end up making phone calls to
Mhm.
insurance company to appeal, to talk to somebody. So this is all where we use the voice for.
Okay.
Right? This is the person picks up the phone and
Yes.
actually makes the
So
call.
talking's
Either
already
they're
happening. Yep.
correct.
Got
So
it.
either you're navigating the IVR, waiting on hold with Blue Cross because the longest hold time, so I
Yeah,
pull it
right.
out. Yeah. So about usually the wait time is about 25 minutes. With Blue Cross, it could be 40 minutes or more. So, yes, you're navigating the IVR, then you're on hold. You get the great music and you're left. So, this is all happening anyway.
Mhm.
Welcome. Now you introduce AI. AI can do a lot of different things. So let's break it up into one. AI can actually talk to patients. Let's start about the patient part. So AI can talk. It sounds like a person. The AI will call and say, "Hello, I'm Betty. I'm an AI assistant, and I'm calling on behalf of such and such doctor practice." And they can say, "I want to just confirm your appointment," or they could talk about a bill. They could help take a payment on the phone. So a lot of things that a person can do. I would
Hmm.
say 95%,
Wow.
right? They can do it. And in case it doesn't, it can always transfer to a human. So that's an option. So that's for the patient side, right?
So the
So it
AI
can help a
makes
lot.
the decision in the moment. Got to connect you to a human.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So, and
Okay.
I'll come to that. I'll come to how we train the AI. We'll
Okay.
come to
Fair
that
enough.
after I go through the
Yeah.
scenarios. I'll tell you how we train the AI, and then it gets better over time, right? So
Perfect.
that's
Yep.
one scenario. Now, coming on the RCM side, companies like us, AI voice calls the insurance companies to get eligibility verification when we need to call. It can navigate the IVR. It can wait on hold, because why not? And don't forget, it can make simultaneous calls.
Yeah. Oh,
It's not one
yes.
person, it can do simultaneous calls. And then it speaks to the person. And there could be an AI on the insurance company side too. That's also possible,
Yeah.
or a live agent. Either way, it
Hmm.
speaks, it introduces herself, himself as an AI agent, talks to them, gets as much as possible. Same thing, if it cannot, it can go through the next claims, and then the exceptions are sent to the human and they can speak. That's an option. There are a few different ways we can do it however we want, right? That's for
Okay.
denial management, eligibility verification, prior authorization, a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah.
So one is the patient side, one is the insurance side. Both of them, the AI is calling. And there are many vendors that are doing this. So this industry is kind of new. I would say about a year old
Okay.
when it became really, really live. And we had a lot of vendors who had case studies and documentation saying, "Hey, we've tried this and it's good."
Hmm.
So it's about a year now.
Yeah.
The new ones are evolving, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the scenarios. Now coming back to how do we train the AI? So each of these vendors have like they have software, and you train it like you would train a new employee. But the
Hmm.
good part is once you train them, they don't forget
Hmm.
and they don't take off. So there are some good things, and we'll come to
Yeah.
the cons in some time. The pros are you train it and you give it like a script,
Hmm.
but it's not like the old school script. It's not going to call and ask, if your computer plugged in, do you have a keyboard, do you have a mouse? It's not going to go through the basics. You can put all the script and it is intelligent enough to ask the right questions based on what the other person is saying. So
Wow.
that's the difference between not just following the script ABC, but understanding that, hey, this is what I should ask based on what the other person is saying on the other end,
Right.
be it a
Right.
human or an AI. So
Right.
that's where the evolution is. And it gives you instant feedback, real time sometimes, how good it is. You can improve the script, you can tweak the script, all that good stuff. So it takes time.
Hmm.
But that's how we train it. So each different scenario, you have a different script. So I'll have a different script for Blue Cross of Michigan. I'll have a different script for Blue Cross of,
Wow.
New Jersey. So each
Yeah.
one takes time.
Hmm.
So does it work? It does. But does it take time? Yeah. So you want to do a pilot with any of the vendors you talk to, test it out, small with either a specific scenario or a problem you're trying to solve. So let's say Blue Cross of Florida is your problem. New Jersey, you start with that. United, Cigna, whatever the case is, pick one and solve. And you can start only with verification of benefits and solve that if that's your issue. If it's prior auth, you can do that. If just following up on AR, you could. If it's patient side, don't do everything at the same time.
Yeah.
You'll
Just
be
like anything else
overwhelmed and
that's
it's going to be
large, you're just stepping in step by step.
correct.
Yeah. So the pros are, I mean, if you compare that, what you just described to, well, what are the pros and kind of what are some of the high level
Let's
pros, high
start with
level
the
cons? Yeah.
let's start with the pros. This is there. We have to either embrace it, or if not, another company is going to embrace it. So we need to do it anyway. It makes our people more efficient. We have hundreds of people working in our company, right? This is the role which is not easy to fill first. There is a shortage, and this is a specific skill set. To be on the phone for hours, it's not for everybody, right? And you need qualified people. It takes
Yeah.
time to train them. And we still need the people. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. The people
Yeah.
are not going anywhere. We need
Yeah.
the people. But this is a way to make them more efficient, help them. And now they can pick up the calls when it's right time for them to get involved instead of wasting time on hold, navigating IVRs, things that they don't need to do. They can do higher level stuff. That's how we look at it.
Yeah.
So our employees are empowered. They can be more efficient. That's how we're looking at it in pros. And the technology is getting better.
Yeah.
We can solve a lot of issues based on this. So it'll solve a lot of issues in labor shortage and training, things like that. That's the pro part. Now the cons is people think it's plug and play, and it's not. It cannot be because the technology is there, but your situation is unique. It's like taking an employee, they might know, revenue cycle or medical billing, but they still need to understand your
I like that.
practice.
I like that comparison. If you would, Dr. X or company X, if you would imagine taking, I don't know, 3 months to train an employee and say that's
Mhm.
at the end of 90 days, this person ought to be able to run with it. Have the same mindset for this.
If you have that same mindset, then you're not going to be disappointed. But many
Yeah.
people think because it's a software, I buy it, I pay for it, so it should work 100% from
Instantaneous.
day one. It
Yeah.
doesn't, cannot do that. It cannot do that. It's not possible. And the expectation, that's the problem, right? But between reality and expectation, that's where people usually are
Right. Because when you
disappointed.
buy the experience of software purchasing is the software is billed as doing certain things. It's
Correct.
programmed to do exactly those things. Of course, when you plug it in on day one, it ought to do those things because that's all it's expected to do. And it's
Mhm.
already been programmed to do that. This is different. This is
Yes.
different.
It has a lot of capabilities. You have to, customize it for your needs. And that's why I
Yes.
said there are different scripts for different things, right? So that's why I told you we have some people, that's all they're doing. They're
Yeah.
working with our operation team, they're working with our client relation transition team, and they see what the need is and they figure out how can I write a script to optimize it. And they've been doing it for months and months. Each
Yeah.
time they learn and they do it. So that's how we look at it. So the con is it takes time. It's more about expectations of reality. The other one is the technology is evolving. It's not there yet. So there's it doesn't solve everything I told you, right?
Yeah.
So you might get pushback. So we get pushback from patients sometimes. We get pushback from insurance company, even though they're using it, we get pushback from them because they don't want to talk to an AI agent. And sometimes the providers that we use this for are not very comfortable because they don't know. They're like, I would prefer you not use AI. So, I've seen the good, I've also seen the cons. And like I
Mm-hmm.
told you, it's kind of new. It takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with autonomous coding, it happened with EMRs, and they're here to stay. And I think we should definitely look at it. And there are a lot of vendors in this space. And my recommendation would be anybody you talk to, try to get some references. And more important, start with a pilot, 1 or 2 months pilot. So you
Yeah.
test out with 20 claims, 50 claims, 100 claims. Don't pay them, test it out, make sure that you understand what the capabilities are, how it can help you in what your needs are. Start with one line item. Like I said, start with patient only, start with verification of benefit,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want. Then you'll be more comfortable. Then sign the 1 year agreement, 2 year agreement, whatever the
Yeah.
software companies usually make you sign at least a
Yeah.
year agreement. You
Yeah.
don't want to commit to something and pay for it and then be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's how that's my
Okay.
recommendation would be.
What do you need to know before you implement? Maybe you just hit it, but what do like as you were talking, one thing that hit me was, so you're a private practice.
Mm.
Do you need somebody on staff? Probably do, who's willing and able to work with it. Say instead of hiring a person that you would have to train, we're going to bring on an AI voice assistant, you're going to have to do as much training, maybe different, because it's not like you can sit down and I don't know, but like, there's more
Have an
to the
idea.
plug. This is not plug and play. So, what are some of the things in your experience say,
Okay.
you ought to know X, Y, and Z before you really do this?
Two things, right? One is you want to talk to a few vendors. Okay, let's go back to the practice, right? The practice, if it is big enough, and let's say it has 10 providers, it has a CEO, CFO, then maybe they can afford to go directly to the vendor. If
Mm-hmm.
not, I would just speak to their revenue cycle team,
Mm-hmm.
their billing company, or somebody else who can help them. I would not tell them to. If it's a two-doctor practice, three-doctor practice, I don't think they should.
Yeah.
They don't have the time, and that's not the skill set. That's not their core competency.
Yeah.
I would talk to somebody like us. That's
Yeah.
kind of what we do, right? That's
Yeah.
what I would suggest. If it's a big practice, 20 providers, they have a central billing office, they have one or two people to spare, then yes. If
Yeah.
not, I would not do it. That's one distinction.
Okay.
The other one is, like I said, talk to three, four vendors, get references. If you going to your billing company, ask them if they've used it. If not, you can always outsource this part to somebody else. A lot of different options you can do. And if you come to, trade shows,
Yeah.
GMA, HPMA, NSC, there's a lot of different trade shows out there. If you go to any of them, you will see one of these vendors. Speak to them, speak to fellow members who have used it or tried it. And I've talked to people, some have tried it and they gave up because it took a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, expectations is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
I've not given up. I'm still very optimistic. It is working.
It makes
It
sense that
doesn't
it
work
would. I mean,
100%.
it just
Yes.
makes with what we know about how we interact with AI today. It just makes sense that it would.
Right.
Do you have clients asking you, how are you guys using AI? Are you doing this or that? We'd like you to use this, but not that. Do you proactively
Mm.
like, or it's just like, look, you contract with us, MBW, and we're going to get it done, and you know,
Yes and
there's
no.
no
It
need
depends
for
on
you
the
to know
client.
how we make the sausage, kind of thing.
It depends. Yeah, that's what I said. It depends on the client. It depends on
Okay.
how heavily engaged the client is.
Mhm.
They've asked us if we use automation and AI, and we have this discussion with them, like I'm talking to you. But many times their goal is, hey, I'm providing the care. I'm outsourcing the billing to
Yeah.
you. Revenue cycle management is you. Figure out how to do it.
Be legal and
They,
ethical and on time
that's
and
it. That's
see you at
it.
the end of the month. Yeah.
Correct, right? Like same with like, we take data security really seriously. HIPAA, we are SOC 2 Type 2, we
Mhm.
have ISO 27000, a lot of things like we do. Similarly, if you do engage with any vendor,
Mhm.
be it for patient collection or for AI or for automation, make sure that they have all the data securities in place. You
Yeah.
sign the business associate agreement, all that stuff. Obviously, we have to take care. But apart from that, many of the practices are not that involved because we are the ones managing it. And I think that is the better way to do it, especially for the smaller practices. Unless you're a big practice. I know one or two big practices, we're talking 100 plus providers, they engage directly, or a
Different
hospital
story.
system, health
Yeah.
system, that kind of makes sense. But for smaller practices, even mid level, it's not the right now. Maybe in 2 years, it'll get very easy and you
Yeah.
might almost be plug and play, even though I don't see how that is possible. Maybe there'll be scripts available easily that people can just copy and
That's
just change a
interesting.
little,
Here's the Blue
possibly.
Cross of Montana script. Here's you can pay for
Correct.
them or yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We are creating that. Maybe we should sell that in the side. I'll think about that.
I a little subscription, because you got to believe they change every so often, maybe every year or
They do.
whatever. And God, I mean, how many scripts would that be? 50 states,
Oh
15,
no,
20 insurance. What are you, 500, 1,000 scripts a year? I mean, I can't
there'll
even.
be a lot of scripts. That is a lot of. That is
Yeah.
correct. Because just for one state, we have a bunch. I mean,
Yeah.
some, especially the big states, and California is it's its own animal. It has its
Hmm.
own rules and stuff. Michigan is a little tricky. Florida has its own rules. Texas,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and there's some pushback, like I said, from some insurance companies. So it's still evolving. We'll
Hmm.
see how the industry plays in the next few months. But it's very interesting and exciting. It is exciting. And
Yeah.
I think the
It
next time
sounds
we
really
talk, I might
cool.
have new, yeah, I
Yeah.
might
Well,
have
and
some new
maybe tell
information.
me if this is answerable now, but like any examples of like real life, like success stories, maybe in a failure story, or is it just too early?
A little too early, but I can give you a couple of smaller stories. So
Sure.
in the success story, we tried with a bunch of different insurance, right? It doesn't work with everything, right? So we tried we work with actually two vendors at the right same time because I wanted to see how both of them
Yeah,
do.
sure.
And I know at least seven other vendors in the same space, AI voice revenue cycle, right? Can't try all seven at the same time. It's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Right? But we're doing two. So,
Mhm.
for example, Blue Cross in Arizona, we had a big client who needs that. We were not able to get it to work because it doesn't integrate properly. There was some pushbacks. Okay, we knew
Okay.
that did not
Yep.
work. That's one. The other one is we would talk, especially when it comes to mental health. There are a lot of smaller payers and insurance companies. We
Mm.
got a couple of pushbacks from those because they're very small. When I say small, they are very regional, and
Mm.
sometimes the AI can actually make mistakes, usually because of the human. So, for example, when you're writing the script, you also have to put the phone number. So, by mistake, we put the phone number of a live agent as opposed to the IVR, and the AI ended up making 50 calls in 3 minutes. It went to a live person. It's a mistake. It
Oof.
happens. So that's we figured
Stuff
it
that
out,
you're
and
only going to
then
figure out by doing it. You just
right,
you need
we
these little toe
apologize
stubbers.
and we
Yeah.
kind of pulled back, and we didn't call that insurance company using AI for a few months because which is just not worth it because it went up and it
Yeah.
reached up to their C-suite and stuff. It's a
Oh,
small
geez.
company, like I told you. It's
Yeah.
not a United. It's a very small mental health. So that's one. In terms of positives, we have seen it work really well for some United claims,
Okay.
Cigna, some Aetna, and they've done a great job. So it doesn't not solve everything. So let me give you an example. Sometimes we have to upload in batches. So we'll upload, let's say, 100 claims to make phone calls, and it'll come back and say, these 10 I cannot handle for whatever reason. It kind of gives you, and we know how those 10 go to the people. And with the 90 that it accepts, it comes back with 88 or 87 of them, sometimes 85, and it's totally done. So
Mhm.
I'm only left with
Wow.
15 of them. So some of them are really good. It saves us a lot of time, and we're still playing with it. And we're working on case studies as we speak. Case studies on
Yeah.
successes, the pros, the cons. Actually, I'm speaking. I have I'm speaking at HBMA Innovation Conference in March next year. I mean,
Okay, good.
so I
Good, good,
should have a
good.
lot more data by then. I got a few moments for
So
that.
I'm curious that example where it handled 85 of the 90, approximately how much time did that save you guys compared to the traditional way? About.
At least I would say, I'll say a day's work. But
Wow.
again, don't forget we do batches.
Sure.
Okay, let me go back, right? One person usually can resolve about 40 or 45 calls if they make resolve, not only call, but resolve.
Mhm.
So that can be 12 hours, 14 hours of work. It's only for those 100 claims. And
Yeah.
we do stuff.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
That's pretty good. I mean, it
So it
sounds,
is definitely there. The
yeah,
technology is there. And that's only AI voice. And we're also looking at a lot of other AI automation in different parts of our team right now. And it's still a
sure.
little early, but a lot of different people are working on the same thing. So
Yeah.
the goal is to, have a company that is AI, part human.
My impression of you guys, having talked to you a few times, you're like an AI lab. You're like an AI testing lab of different things, as much
Testing
as you
lab, yeah.
can and whatever makes sense, and nobody's perfect. But um, yeah, that's my impression is whenever I
Makes
talk to
sense.
you, there's some new thing you're checking out and testing and having your two guys in the basement of the back cave check out and whatever. And you
Kind of
know,
important to do. That
yeah,
is true because
yeah,
the AI companies are great. They have the technology, but without the data, they can't do anything.
can't do
So they
anything.
need to work with somebody, either a practice,
Yeah,
somebody like us. If not, they would not be able to get started. But yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of where we are, Carl.
yeah. So to bring us to the finish line, anything about AI voice at this stage of its young life that you think we should have touched on, but we just didn't get to?
No, I think we kind of touched everything. Again, I just want to say, start slow,
Mm-hmm.
speak to a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like to jump in when the technology starts. We are one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
some people want to wait and see. And I think it's about a year. A lot of people have already tested it. Some people are happy with the results, some are not. And we are right in between. I think there's definitely a lot more potential than we have seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
For all the money and time we have spent so far, I think there's still a lot to go.
Yeah.
Opinion. And I would just say start slow, like everything else. New technology, start slow. Don't jump in head first. Pretty much all I have for today, Carl.
Okay. Okay. And I think the other question I typically ask or always ask is where could somebody get started? But I think you just answered it. One question, I didn't tell you I was going to ask this. I didn't think about it. So two-parter. Part one, a year and a half ago, did you see AI voice coming? because the second question is, what are you seeing as next? Like,
Mm.
it was RPA, then it was AI, now it's AI voice. Do you have a even a vague picture of what you're thinking? X could be the next AI thing or some other thing that you
A
just happen to be
great,
seeing.
great question, Carl. So no, I did not see AI voice coming, but what happened is a lot of things changed after ChatGPT, right? That's kind of
Mm,
how it started. They've been talking about AI since the 1950s, but
yeah.
it's been really slow, right?
Hmm.
And this kind of just exploded. And now Google just had quantum computing yesterday, like 13 million times faster, some crazy numbers that I can't even comprehend. So once autonomous coding started, that kind of made sense, right?
Hmm.
But I did not think the AI voice would happen so fast.
Okay.
I just did not. And I see a lot of other parts of the RCM. Not only RCM, there's only one industry we're talking about. I'm
True.
sure it touches education, finance, marketing,
Mm-hmm.
everything is being automated. Either automation, AI part kind of combined is happening in all industries.
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing, I do see AI avatars. I put that in one of the talks I had. I put an AI avatar of myself, looks exactly like me. And
Mm-hmm.
I talked in 8 different languages.
Did
It
you?
was, it was, we, yeah, I did. I
I didn't
talked in
know that about
Hebrew,
you.
in Arabic, in,
Yeah.
in Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah. So it looks, I mean, you record it, and this is not expensive. It cost me $85 and took me an hour to create my avatar. And you could do it really, really well in a studio. That costs a few $1,000s, but I'm seeing it in news channels now. There are AI avatars
There's an
actually
actress.
doing
There's an actress, I
correct.
believe, with an agent whose name I'm going to forget, and the,
That
the
is
the human
correct.
acting community is up in arms because
That
this
is
actress is
correct.
landing parts and being represented, and nobody knows what to do about it. And they're get
Correct.
hopeful or get angry. Yes, yes. And I saw a picture, and I thought I wouldn't have thought that was it. I
Yeah.
would
So
think she looks real. Whoever she
he did
is.
look real. I
Yeah.
saw the video, and until they told me he was AI, I had no way of knowing.
No way of
Just- I
knowing.
could see the wrinkles in the face. It looked like a real
Yes.
person, and
Really, 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 really
that's kind of
real.
scary too, right? So there's a lot of things and fraud that's going to come because of that,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's the whole dark industry or the dark web that we should all
Hmm.
be worried about. Because fraud is at an all-time high, financial
Yeah.
fraud, medical data fraud. So that's whole different topic to
Yes.
discuss.
Yes. Well, the next time I see you, I'll say shalom, and you'll be
We
able to
will
say
do
it
that.
back.
Yeah, I can,
um,
sure.
yeah. Thank you, Vinny, for once again
Thank
coming
you.
back on, helping us understand what's new, how to make sense of it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carl. It's always fun. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. You have a great weekend.
You too. And we've got your contact information. So that's going to go into the show notes of this episode. So, listeners, if you want to get a hold of Vinny, you now have that way to do so as well. 2 quick points before wrapping up. First, if you're someone like Vinny or us and you serve private practices, or if you're a private practice owner yourself, either way, you've got some experience on the business side of private practice. And don't overthink that. You might think it's simple and boring. I promise you, anything you've figured out, dozens of others are struggling with. So we want you to come on PracticeCare and tell the world about it. In the show notes of every episode, there's a link, a couple of clicks, super simple and quick. Just tell us what's on your mind and we'll get you scheduled to come on as soon as possible. And finally, PracticeCare is one word. Subscribe to us. We're everywhere, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. New episode comes out every week, and that's the easiest way to stay up to date. Thanks very much, and until next time.